What the fuck is myth? Ferdinand de Saussure argued that in language we create symbols through a certain process called signification, which is where we add a physical image to a meaning to create a symbol. And that can sound a little bit abstract, so kind of for a more concrete example, we can say, let's take the physical image of a tree, and let's then take the meaning of a tree, which is like a plant with a long trunk and leaves on the top, kind of just what you think of as a tree. And then you actually create the symbol of a tree, not just the image itself, not just the meaning, but both things combined together to create the symbol of a tree. But Barthes takes this one step further by suggesting that myth is created through a second process which goes on top of a symbol. So this process adds a concept which becomes associated with the symbol, creating a mythological symbol. Again, maybe this sounds a little bit abstract, so again we can bring it down to like a kind of easy to understand example. Let's take Chris Evans, the actor who acts as this physical image, and then the character of Steve Rogers, who's, New York dude who gets superpowers, blah, blah, blah. The kind of meaning of the character of Steve Rogers come together to create Steve Rogers, the cinematic portrayal, which Chris Evans plays, to become the symbol of Steve Rogers. But then we go through the secondary process of Steve Rogers being linked to Americanness, which kind of creates him as this mythical identity of Captain America. So he gets to this secondary concept, which gets added on and kind of changes from just being this normal symbol into this bigger than life mythological symbol, which is tied to a greater concept. And for Captain America, that's being tied to these American values, which kind of hold this great meaning to, a certain set of people who associate with that concept. So to kind of bring it all together, Barthes kind of thinks that mythology represents a mutation of normal language, which becomes associated to a larger concept by becoming this mythologized symbol that means something a little bit more or different than just kind of the normal symbols that we have in day-to-day life, possibly.